Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to go over the 5 biggest, most common reasons for Google AdSense to deny your website to have Google AdSense on it. Now, as you guys know, you guys have seen some of my big numbers before. You've also seen some of my smaller numbers too. You know, not always are my numbers crazy big in the 16, 17K per month. Sometimes it's, smaller, 6, 8, 10K a month. So you guys have seen it all really on this channel. You've seen me build websites. You've seen me teach you guys how to set them up. I've done everything in between. We even have a free course on our website. So today we're going to give you 5 of the most common reasons why Google AdSense will deny your website. Keep in mind that just because your website could be approved, it could at any time be denied, meaning they could send you an email a year from now, a week from now, and say, hey, we reviewed your website and we decided this is not for us. We have to part ways. If you want to get back into the AdSense program, you're going to have to be reapplied or you're going to have to reapply to be approved. I wanted to make this video because I'm going to be giving you guys also a little gift at the end. The gift is going to be a piece of advice for the people who are doing the AI blog content. So if you're using an AI writer tool, right, which there's ways to do it properly. If you're doing it, I have 2 of the most common reasons why you might potentially be blocked. So it's really a 2-part video here. We got the 5 most common reasons for everybody to be blocked on Google AdSense or not be approved or not be allowed to use Google AdSense. But also towards the end, I'll be giving you 2 of the most important reasons that if you're using AI, you could potentially not be allowed to have AdSense on your site. All right, so if you want to get started, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll go to the very first one here. I have this little color shape that I'm using as a kind of a way to control what's being seen. So we'll take things one step at a time, all right? So I'm going to go through it with you guys, and let's get into it. So the first thing is going to be insufficient content. The reason why I put this as number 1 is because probably the people who watch my YouTube channel, maybe they're their first-time bloggers, they're getting on their blog for the very first time, they want to start making passive income, and I've said this before maybe about 100 times on this channel, I'll say it again, is that the reality is when it comes down to not AI content, but blogs, and it's the first time, sometimes you really don't know how much work you have to actually do to get started. I've said this before, but the bulk of your content should be created within the first 2 months of the site being published, which is going to be at least 45 articles. Obviously, there's people who are not going to listen to that. They're going to do 30, they're going to do 60, whatever. The more the better, obviously. But, content quality does differ. Some people might do their first 5 articles, 10 articles, and they could potentially get approved. Keep in mind that the site is reviewed by a computer and by a manual reviewer. So the first thing what happens is it goes through a computerized or a robotic review, and then it goes to a manual review, a human review. A lot of the times, right, the sites that are denied early don't even pass the human review or the manual review. It's not all the time, but things do change. And this is all presented on Google's site, by the way. Google has literally, 7,000 articles written on blogs and SEO and content. So you can go to their webmaster website. You can read all this kind of stuff. They provide all this information. But insufficient content. So essentially, it's just not enough good content that was written. Well, I'll take that back. Take out the word good for a second. Just not enough content. The existence of not enough work on the site. There's a lot of different ways you can make your site look like it has a lot of work on it, even if you don't have that many blog posts. You can create categories for your sites. You can create a good menu. You can, set things up. You set up a homepage properly, different than your actual blog page. Make sure your content is stacked with an About Us page, if that happens to apply for you, or maybe about a movement that you're trying to push. Have a page where you're recommending certain products. Have everything well organized. And also, of course, create a plethora of content, which is the most important thing. That's going to be the first thing. Let me go ahead and just adjust my mic here. There we go. And so that's going to be the first thing. In all of your articles, you want to have them a good, decent length, no less than, 2,000 words for the approval process. If you're going to create websites that are smaller, it's perfectly fine. That's not a Google problem. That's not an SEO problem. But if we're talking about AdSense and you're trying to get approved and guarantee the approval, right? Keep in mind that, remember, that manual review, that human-based review is sometimes biased. People can look at your website that could be perfectly fine, and they could turn it down. I think I've said this story before, but there was a time where I applied for Google AdSense, got denied, changed absolutely nothing about the site, waited 2.5 weeks, reapplied, and then it got approved. I didn't add any articles. I didn't change anything. I just reapplied, and it got approved. So it does realize that the manual review part does play a part, right? So the more visually appealing you make it and the more content stacked it is, the higher chance it is of being approved, all right? So insufficient content is a huge thing. You need to create more content on the site. Let's go ahead and go to number 2. Number 2 says, violation of any AdSense policy. So this is a big one. And a lot of the times when you have a new site, right, you might not be aware of all the policies, but there's a lot of different things that happen. The first thing is deceptive practices. We could actually talk about this. When you have a deceptive practice, how does this usually happen? 9 times out of 10, the person who owns the blog is not actually creating any deceptive practice. They'll go hire somebody on Fiverr, and they'll pay for like a traffic package or something like that. And what they're doing is they're creating deceptive practices. They're doing black hat kind of content, or excuse me, not content, but black hat kind of manipulation to make their website seem better than it normally is. A little thing that I want to state here, guys, is that you don't actually have to have traffic or generate traffic to be approved by Google AdSense. That's something to be important. Keep in mind. However, Google knows if your website is gaining traffic, and your approval can actually go faster if you get more traffic. So I've noticed on some of my sites that are already generating traffic and visits, they'll get approved faster than websites that aren't. However, you do not need it. But violation of AdSense policies go as follows. So for example, if you have an account that is already not allowed to be using AdSense, that's clear violation right there. Okay? Why? Because it could be something that you did in your past that probably stopped you. Copyrighted content. So you're taking content from other people's sites and posting it. Duplicate content is a perfect example, right? It could be external or internal duplicate content. So a lot of people, when they think of duplicate content page, they think of that error that comes in Google Search Console where you have 2 sites that could potentially mean the same thing. We're not talking about that. We're talking about going out there, copying and pasting people's work onto your site. That is a huge example of something that is against the AdSense policies. And Google actually knows these things, right? They can tell. So, and towards the end of this video, I'm going to give you my recommendation on how you could probably get approved as fast as humanly possible. But other than copyrighted content, the obvious, I'm not going to say the words, but you see what it says on screen, the obvious reasons, okay? Anything in the world that it wouldn't be something you would talk about in front of, let's say, your family, right? At the dinner table, probably shouldn't be on a site that you're applying for AdSense, okay? So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. So this is actually really simple one, but it could be a pain in the neck sometimes. So having the right policy pages. So if you're based in Europe, right, this could happen. You have to have, well, not, you don't have to, but it depends on your site, but you have to have certain certain warnings or certain approval askings for your site. So, or consents. So for example, if you're doing ads on your site that happens to be a blog, you should have a cookie consent. And that's not really so much in the US currently, but it is definitely in the EU as a requirement. Also, if your site is based to EU readers, that should be something to pay attention to. But also having the right policies on your page, okay? Having policy pages that are not just empty with actual content in them will help you drastically. Now, is that a requirement? No, but this is one of the most common reasons why somebody might say no or reject the site. There have been many sites where I've never had a policy page that got approved. But once again, manual review takes part in the Google AdSense approval. And the manual reviewer, you got to realize they're probably seeing easily 350 sites a day, and they're manually reviewing them and they're looking through them and they have to actually give some attention to them. They're not going to pay attention to everything every site has, okay? And you have to be aware that sometimes things can pass. So, for example, if I'm saying, hey, you don't have a policy page, but you could still get approved, you got to keep in mind how the system kind of works. But best case scenario, have various policy pages. So, privacy policy, terms of use policy, okay? If you're selling stuff on the page, return policy. Now, that's a little overkill, right? But at the same time, it's probably a good idea to have it for future things if you're going to sell your products on the Google search for the Merchant Center. All right, number four, difficult site navigation. I can't explain to you how many times this has caused my sites that I applied too early to get rejected. But difficult site navigation, there's two ways to control site navigation. You have your primary navigators and you have your secondary navigators. In the world of UX UI design, primary navigators are the ones on the top and the bottom, aka the header and the footer. That's primary. So you want to have navigation on the footer of your site or on the header. If you're not going to put anything on the footer, just remove the whole footer entirely. Okay, and yes, you can do that. But that's what I would recommend. But primary site navigators, you have to have a header, have them set up in categories, your blogs, your niches. You can even have a search by tag section. It's ideal to have a search bar. Those are ideal. And a lot of the times when your menu is very short on your website, that can cause issues with confusion. It's nice to have about 4 or 5 links that are aside from your home, your search, and your policy links and your contact us on your header, okay? 4 or 5 links that creates categories for the actual content of the site, okay? So keep in mind, content is not just blogged articles. I've said this before, but when you're creating a website design, you have to have a full design, a full website. And you guys can look at some of our templates we have on Rocket Web Builder. In fact, I'll actually just pull some of them up. You can go to rocketwebbuilder.com, go to the homepage, click on templates here. And when you click on templates, if this is the first time you're on your computer on the site, it might take a little bit to load. But after that, it will be fast as a rocket. Look through some of the links we have, some of the things we set up, how our websites are designed. Is very important. It's very important you look through these things. So, for example, we can click on this website. It says Barber 24/7. It's a barbershop website. But if you look, it has a home, it has a shop, it has About Us, grooming services, get in touch, and book an appointment. So you have a lot of links there. All right. You also have a cart, which is separate, and you have the main logo. So if I go to shop, click here, it takes us back to the homepage. Also, one of the reasons why you'll get denied on the difficult site navigation is if any of the buttons do not work, right? So if it's not linked to anything. So for all you WordPress users, you're going to have to actually manually go into your menu and do this. But for Rocket Web Builder people, it's very easy. You just go to the web page, hit edit, and you're literally editing your menu. Everybody who has Rocket Web Builder knows exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to necessarily go over this. If you are on Rocket Web Builder, you could go to the bottom left-hand corner, the little help section, and you can access, I think, over 800 different help articles, like mini articles that you could just read through that show you exactly what to do. and has a great search, so search navigator. But basically, this is kind of a simple example as how it works. Every button needs to work. You need to click on it. It will need to take you places. If the menu is too complicated, also, that will get you denied as well. So for example, if you're a business that's selling, like let's say 400 different products, and you happen to have 27 different categories, it's not ideal to put 27 different links in your header. That's crazy. Okay, what you need to do is you need to really, really simplify the process. So you don't want to go too crazy on the header menu. You don't want to go too small either. It needs to be just perfect for you to get approved. And also, all the buttons need to work. That's one of the things that's very important. If you skip on these small things and maybe you don't check them, your content could be great, but the site could be denied because of those small things. And let's go to number 5. Okay, plagiarized content. So this is actually one of the big ones now because people are using AI. Now, there's nothing wrong with AI. Rocket Web Builder is integrated with AI. In fact, it's the only, or one of the only sites that helps you build a no-code website, right? Using the power of AI. You can click AI and it will literally write blogs for you internally at no extra cost. So is AI good? Is AI bad? Depends how you use it. One of the best reasons, right, the way we use AI is it can write a segment of content for you. If you guys want to see that video of me using AI within Rocket Web Builder, I'll leave a link in the description. Just go ahead and click on it. You'll see it will say video link in all capitals, video link. You can go ahead and click on it, right? And it will show you how to use the AI, the built-in AI to Rocket Web Builder. Rocket Web Builder was the very first website building platform on the internet that integrated AI writing technology within its blog. There has not been one other business that has done that. We've been the leader in that, and we've had it for over a year now on the platform. That's the first thing. The second thing is we use GPT-4. A lot of people who are using AI auto bloggers, things like that, they're using a poor quality of AI. They're not using GPT-4. They're not using it, right? They'll be using Turbo 3.5, which is not bad, but it's definitely not ideal because it cannot follow your tonality as well. So meaning, when I say tonality, I don't just mean happy, sad, excited, whatever. If you tell the AI to put something in your own tone or your own style, right, it's not going to always follow that. When we come to plagiarized content, most people, the AI people out here that are telling you to do the auto bloggers, they're not adding any new content. So Google looks at it and they say, we've seen this content regurgitated 700 different times. We're not going to approve this site. This is going to be one of the biggest reasons. I actually said in the beginning of this video, I was going to give you 2 of the biggest reasons why the AI bloggers, the people who use the AI habitually, get denied for AdSense. This is why. So I'll show you the 2 right now. So the first one is not enough content. So valuable inventory, not enough content. They're essentially saying the content of your site is not valuable. Okay? The second thing is low value content, which really comes down to the exact same thing. If you're creating content with AI only and you're posting it to your site, okay, and you think that it's going to be the reason that AdSense will approve you, you're crazy. If they're not going to. They're going to deny you, and it's going to be simply off of the basis that your content is low value. Whether they tell you it's low value content or it's not enough content, it comes down to the same reason. Why? If you read some of this, it says copying portions of text content from other sources. The AI absolutely does that. Websites dedicated to embed videos from other sites, that has nothing to do with the AI. Websites with gibberish content that makes no sense or seems auto-generated, bingo, that's AI right there. Templated or pre-generated websites that provide duplicate content to users, bingo, that's AI content as well. A lot of people think they get hung up on the word templated. Guys, it's all templated when other people are writing the exact same content as you, aka the AI is taking other content from online and regurgitating it. It's the same thing, okay? And then this one, minimum content requirements, non-existent, okay? Make sure your site has unique, high-quality content and a good user experience. That kind of has two things, but good, unique. The word unique. AI is not going to provide you, with all due respect, unique content. They're just not going to provide it. The fact that it is unique makes it high quality. You have to understand now, guys, that most people are only using AI now. Why? Because they're A, lazy, and B, because they're looking for the get-rich-quick thing, okay? You're going to have an advantage if you're using your own power and AI. And when I say your own power, I really mean human power. If you're using human power plus AI power, you're going to have an advantage. If you don't use human, welcome to the club of failures. You're going to end up like most people who are using AI. They're just not going to do well. I want you to understand, it's going to be a rarity. In the next few months, it's going to be a rarity to find someone who's on Google who's not using AI the way most people are. And most people are simply just using AI, copying and pasting, and the site is of no value in Google's eyes. Zero value, okay? The reason why I'm saying this, right, is I have nothing to say. I'm not going to sell you a service on writing articles. You guys do that for yourself. I'm not going to offer to write content for you for money. None of that kind of stuff. I am telling you this because it's important. If you want to succeed with Google long term, you're going to have some manual written content mixed in with your AI content. The AI content is obviously a benefit because it's powerful. AI is powerful. However, it is regurgitated info. So when you need the basics, right? Like if I'm writing an article about tigers, when I need the basics of tigers have a lifespan of 11 to 14 years and they weigh 895, I could take that and make the AI write that. But when I'm writing stuff that is more specific to the conversation, then I have to write that, which perfectly aligns with this whole entire concept of our YouTube channel. What is our YouTube channel called? It's called Cash Cow Niche Sites. Niche sites, cash cow, whatever. Basically, making money from sites that are niche, that are small. They don't need to make all the traffic in the world. They definitely are not hard to maintain, but they're on very, very, very specific topics that people are searching for, that you're providing solutions to, whether it be through your free content or through your paid products, or both. And Google has no other choice but to rank you. But when you play the game just like every other person out there, which is the losing game, because you have to understand, majority of people are losing in this world. When you play the same game everyone else is, you're not differentiating yourself. You're really not advancing yourself. You're just on their playing field, or even worse, because you're copying, right? And what happens is Google looks at that and says, look at all this content here. It's all garbage. It's all garbage because it's just being copied and copied and just spit out in different ways. So if you're writing an article, if you're creating a blog site, okay, and you're listening to this now and you want to be approved for Google AdSense and more importantly, be successful with Google long term, aside from just AdSense, you want to get some more traffic, you want to rank, you want to do well, it's not as complicated as you may think. Maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, people got hung up on this concept of SEO and link building and website contentful paint and speed and all these kind of things. We live in an age now where the technology we have, like for example, Rocket Web Builder and other website building softwares, take care of all the semantics. They take care of all the technological hardships. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. What you need to worry about is creating the very good content that stands out, which is actually the barrier for that is pretty easy now because everybody's hopping on the AI stuff. So competition has kind of like parted like the Red Sea, where you have all the big companies on the left that are currently doing well because of their past organic content written, right? And then you have everyone else on the right who's going to join the group of the losers who just literally just copy and paste AI, do nothing else. So remember that content is not just written words on your site, but it is the amalgamation of the whole entire site combined. Okay? So keep that in mind. But anyways, these are the two biggest things that you're going to get denied for if you're doing the whole AI auto blogging thing. And once again, I want to be clear so that everybody can understand. I am not against using AI. AI is very powerful. AI is good. If you use it properly, it's good. You should check out my past videos. In fact, once again, I will leave a link in the description. How to use AI, writing a blog. I'll leave the link in the description. You can check out cashcownichesites.com. I'll leave a link in the description to that. There's resources on there. If you want to see the full list of reasons why blogs will get denied on Google for AdSense, you need to click the link in the description, read the entire blog. I don't know how long this video is. This video has been going on for 25 minutes. I could probably talk about this for about 4.5 hours. I'm not going to do that, of course, because I don't want to give you guys a headache, and I don't want to lose my voice. So I'll leave a link in the description. You guys can click on it. You'll access the full blog. You can read through it. There's a ton of content there that you could read through and see all the various different reasons. You could even use it as a checklist. Go through the list once you're applying. Bingo, you're good to go. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video was helpful. And peace out. Bye.